What's up, you guys? Thank you for tuning in to another video with the Fat Gay. My name is Isaac, and in today's video, I'm actually going to be interviewing a friend of mine from the Orangetheory gym that I met, and we're going to talk about her journey and what Orangetheory has been able to contribute to her weight loss journey specifically. Alright, you guys, so as I mentioned, I was going to be doing something a little bit different in this video. So typically, I talk about my journey and what I've done, but as you guys know and as I've been honest with you about throughout this entire process, is that I'm just starting out. So I wanted to kind of get a different perspective when it comes to Orangetheory, weight loss, and understanding people's journeys to be able to kind of incorporate that into what we talk about here. So I decided to bring my friend Heather, who I actually met a few weeks ago at Orangetheory, and you know, she's kind of great. Yeah. And talk about what her experience has been like and basically what Orangetheory has been able to offer her along her weight loss journey. And before we do that, I kind of want to get an opportunity to talk about her journey in general. So Heather, if you could just do me a favor and kind of give us a cliff notes or an overview as to what happened, what was your highest weight if you're comfortable with that, how much you lost, and then what your approach was before joining Orangetheory.
So I started in May 2016,
okay,
and my highest weight was 263 pounds, and so far I've been able to maintain about 135 pounds off.
Okay.
And I originally started just running a bridge back home, which was a mile over and a mile back, and I was doing just specifically cardio. It was about interval running, so basically what Orangetheory does, the whole run, walk thing. Okay. And I did that with dieting, so I went from portion sizing because I could go to a Chinese buffet and have like 5 plates and be totally fine.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
And I went from 5 to maybe like a plate and a half. And my dad had gotten weight loss surgery, so all of us had to drastically decrease what we were eating. So that happened, and then about a year and a half into my weight loss journey, then I started getting into Planet Fitness and started doing some weightlifting and started using their cardio machines, and then I just went from there. And then about March this year is when I finally found Orangetheory.
Alright, so it hasn't been a year yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, so just to kind of give the people watching like a little bit of a more insight, so how tall are you?
5'2".
So you're 5'2", and your highest weight was 260? 263.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just the running portion alone, like you were running a mile up a bridge and then a mile back. Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to get into it where you could do that workout and it wasn't like taxing on your body, or it wasn't like, did you ever get to a point where it was hurting your ankles or hurting your knees? Like, how difficult was that process for you?
So I'm a very clumsy person, so okay. It always hurt me. There was at one point in school that I actually tore a ligament in my ankle just walking in the hallway to class, so I was still running on that. I was doing 5Ks on that. I wasn't pushing myself to where I was gonna pass out on the bridge. Okay. If I was tracking my heart rate, so when I found out that Orangetheory did it based off of heart rate training, I was ecstatic because I was like, oh my gosh, like that's how I do it. That's how I did it back home. And I would walk from one light to the next light, and then if my heart rate was low enough, I would run a little extra, and if it was too high, I would walk a little extra. And then I would push myself a little more, and I would have a goal. So, okay, if I can do this mile in 14 minutes, let me see if I can do it in 13:50. And then I would keep trying, and I did it about 4 or 5 times a week. But since it was on a bridge and it was over a river, it was also like a mind thing. Like it was very decompressing, and it was very relaxing for me. So it was more of like a physical and a mental thing for me.
Okay, so yeah, so it's not like when you're at Orangetheory and you're doing a really long tread block and you're looking at a screen and you want to die.
Or staring at yourself and you're like...
I do not look at myself in the mirror. I try so hard because all I see is like this sweaty like monster. Usually my hair, that's why I wear hats all the time, because my hair just doesn't cooperate. But not the point. So you were basically getting into a routine where you were running, you were kind of doing this process. What was that initiating factor? Like, because everybody talks about their aha moment, like the moment it snaps for them, which I think has been different for me because I've kind of yo-yo dieted my entire life. What would you say was that moment for you where you were like, something's got to give? Was it your dad's surgery that helped kind of inspire you, or was it the way you were feeling? Like, were you constantly uncomfortable? I mean, when I was at my highest, which was 372, everything I did was like a task. Like, it's kind of like being hyper aware in your body at all times that you realize you're occupying a certain amount of space. But granted, there was a 100-pound difference between my highest and yours. So like, what was that moment like for you?
So my dad's surgery was kind of like an aha moment to me as well, for sure, but he's also, his highest weight was like 450 almost. And growing up, I always had like his old shirts and I would sleep in them because, you know, us girls like to sleep in giant shirts and that's it, all we fall asleep in. But I put on one of his shirts to fall asleep in, and I think it was like a 3 or 4X, and it was like an old softball coach shirt, and when I put it on, I realized it was tight, and I was like, oh my god, like I have to do something about this. Like, I'm 19 years old, this is a 3X, 4X, whatever it was, and I was like, I literally cannot wear it. Like, I have to do something about this. I can't live like this anymore. And like, I've always been big. I was big all throughout high school. I was big throughout middle school. I was always the biggest girl every single time. I was always active. I did soccer, I did softball, I did marching band. There was never a sedentary moment in my life. I was always active. There was a time that I blew up, so to speak, in my weight when I got my heaviest, but I was always active. There was never a sedentary moment. But putting on that shirt and then realizing like, oh my god, this is it. That was the aha moment. And then seeing my dad do his weight loss surgery, which today is actually the 4-year anniversary of his weight loss surgery.
That's an appropriate.
Yeah.
That's an appropriate moment to do this video. Okay.
So that was like the moment that I was like, okay, yeah, definitely have to do something about this. I'm not cool with it. So
that's interesting, I think, because for the most part, when you talk to people that have struggled with their weight, it's always, usually they hear, oh, I just was very inactive, or I, you know, didn't exercise as much. Like, I feel like those are the two. Like, the one I hear about the most is athletes who were athletes all through high school and then college, and then they got out of school, continued eating the way they were with a severe decrease in their activity, and then they gained weight. Whereas you struggled with your weight your whole entire life, but were consistently active. So that's got to be a whole nother level of discipline that you have to have, because you really do have to cut what you're eating because you're already burning so many calories throughout the activities that you were doing.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got the shirt, you guys. I love that you kept that. So that is so great that you kept that. So did you keep it because of what that moment was for you, or you just kind of happened to have it?
I just kept it because it's my dad's old shirt.
Got it.
But I also have a giant shirt that I wore to nursing school my very first day that is also just as large as this, that I like to say pre-nursing and then post-nursing.
That's great.
You know.
Okay. Well, I'm really glad that you brought that up because it kind of puts things in perspective as to how much you've lost. So I'm actually going to take a moment really quick and show pictures. So I'm going to show 2. She's given me 3 pictures, but we want to have a conversation about the 3rd picture first. So I'm going to show you a picture of her at her heaviest weight. Then this is going to be, so how long would you say from your heaviest to the picture that I'm going to post after?
It was probably like a solid 3 years to get to my goal.
Okay, so then 3 years of working out and being conscious. Did you track your food, or was it like intuitive eating?
It was intuitive for the most part, and then like the last year I started tracking like my macros and everything from a friend who is very active in the macro fitness world, and she had a partnership with Advent Health and First Form and blah, 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 all that.
Okay.
Yada, yada, yada.
So then 3 years into that journey, she got to this weight, which, how much did you weigh in this picture?
140.
140. Okay, so that's like a huge, huge drop. Okay, and how did you feel at that point when you were at that weight?
Oh, the teeny tiny picture.
Yeah, the teeny tiny picture.
No, the teeny tiny picture, I weighed 127. Ha!
127?
127, that was my lowest.
Woo! How did you feel?
I was ecstatic that I got that super teeny tiny, because I never thought I could get that super teeny tiny because my legs were like this big around. And even then, ironically enough, a guy that I had been talking to told me that I still had some rolls, which is stupid. Don't listen to boys. And, but I still felt self-conscious in a way because fatties, heyo, always a fatty, have this mindset that like, once a fatty, always a fatty. Like, I still see myself as big. I will always still see myself as big. I will always have that fear of getting big. So yes, I felt amazing, like I was super teeny tiny. I still feel amazing, but I still see myself as big, you know?
Okay. You've done your running, you've done your restricting and your eating. You've lost, at this point, more than 140 pounds, right? So you went from, math is hard, like 120 pounds.
Yeah.
120 pounds. And you are super, super, super tiny, still struggling with some body issues. You were doing Planet Fitness, and then March of last year, you started OTF. So March of last year, you started Orangetheory. So walk me through that process. Like, what was that like going from working out by yourself consistently, really pushing to get that bulk of the weight off, to then transitioning to a whole new world in Orangetheory? Because I mean, anyone who has worked out anywhere else, or especially somebody who is not used to or adjusted to the HIIT training, so that high intensity interval training, right? Yeah. Yep. You can go into a little bit of a shock because it's really different, right? So what was that process like for you, and what did it give you that you weren't getting before?
So I actually tried a bunch of different gyms. I did Planet Fitness, I did LA Fitness, and at LA Fitness I did Zumba, and I did HIIT Zumba, which is like Zumba on crack. Okay. And I died every single time I did it because it's like Zumba and doing a little bit of Orangetheory in the middle of it. I did 24-hour fitness when I moved up to Orlando, and at 24-hour fitness I had a trainer, and that kind of gave me like the aspect of like having a one-on-one trainer thing, and I was like, not really about this whole thing, it's not my thing. And then a work friend was like, hey, why don't you come try Orangetheory with me? And I was like, sure, all right, whatever, cool. I'll get a discount because I'm a nurse. You get $10 off a month or whatever. So I tried it out, and going to the gym, I was able to, I guess, not tone up, but like kind of keep muscular body a little bit. Not what I'm at now. I was able to just keep my body the way it was. And then when I finally got into Orangetheory, we started doing the interval running, and I was like, wow, this is really what I like, but this is 10 times better than what I normally do.
Did you start as a power walker, or did you start as a jogger?
I started as a power walker.
So even though you had a history of running before? Yeah. Okay.
There was no way I could run on a treadmill. And me being a runner, I used to make a joke, even being skinny or whatever I am now, I always make a joke like, if you see me running, you should be running too. Like, that's absolutely not. Like, there's probably an ex-murderer, a bear, there's something behind me chasing me. Like,
you know, that is such a mood like for 2020. Like, if you see me running and I am not in the gym with a heart rate monitor on my body, don't ask questions, just go.
Yes, exactly.
I think we can vibe on that. We're on the same page because that's not an extracurricular, like you know, just for fun.
I don't run just to run, I promise. Like, there's one setting for it. But I liked the running on the treadmill, so that was really fun. When I got on the weight floor, I saw the coach doing it, and I was like, I don't know what this is. I'm gonna try 15. Now, any newbie who goes on the weight floor thinks that, oh, 15 pounds is like, whatever, and I did it, and I was like, oh my god, my arms, and they like just fell, like noodles, like pasta noodles, literally on the floor, and I was like, okay, cool, not about it. Now, the first class that I took happened to be a 2,000 meter benchmark row. Idiot. So, you can imagine what happened.
I don't think I've done one.
Well, you can imagine what I did. They tell you don't blow out all your speed on the very beginning. Well, little Heather didn't listen, you know, so I was rowing, and I was rowing, and I was rowing, and then got to 400 meters, and I was done. Like, D-E, dead. Like, dead. And I was looking over at my friends, and they were just like, and I was like, oh my god, I can't do this anymore. I can't, like, I'm done. Meanwhile, I have 1,600 meters to go, and it was a benchmark row, and I still have it on my phone for my benchmark. It took me 15 minutes to do 2,000 meters. Should not take you 15 minutes to do 2,000 meters.
I think it would take me 15 minutes to do 2,000 meters. It won't take you 15 minutes. I don't know, Oh, I did do. Hey, I did do a 2,000 meter row. It was 10 minutes and 11 seconds.
See?
I'm not gonna lie, that makes me feel like a little good. Like just a little bit, because you were teeny tiny.
Exactly. And that's why you listen to the coaches and don't blow yourself out.
Rowing is hard. It's hard. For those of you that don't know.
Shoulders back, tits out. Row. Row.
I'm gonna put a slow-mo. So you do your 2,000 meter benchmark. You do the 15-pound weights. You learn that that was a mistake. You got noodle arms. Mm-hmm. So how are you feeling at this point after you've done the first workout?
I was dead after the first class, and my friend was like laughing at me the whole time because she knew that I had exhausted all of my energy within like the first 30 minutes of the class. But after the class ended, I knew it wasn't something that I wanted to just say, no, I'm absolutely not coming back to Orangetheory. It was something that I wanted to try again, but it wasn't something that I was, yes, 100% I'm gonna sign up and I'm gonna start a membership right now. So I ended up taking like 4 or 5 classes and paying $30 for each class. Terrible idea.
Yeah.
Before I signed up, because I'm somebody that, yes, I will spontaneously sign up on a whim, but because of how expensive Orangetheory is.
Worth it.
Worth it. Yeah, we know.
But expensive.
But expensive, yes. Yeah. I wanted to make sure that I was 100% ready for it because Orangetheory is so different and its principle is so different, and I just wanted to make sure that I was 100% ready for it because I had tried so many gyms, like I said. Like, I've been to private gyms, I've been to public gyms, and I know each gym has like 7,000 different locations you can try out, and yes, at Orangetheory you sign up at one, you can go to 7 million different locations, which is fine, cool, great, but I wanted to make sure that I was 100% ready for it because I was committing a lot of money, and now that I was living on my own and paying for all of my bills, I wanted to make sure, yes, this is what I want. This is what I want to go for.
Okay. So you make the decision, you do your first 4 or 5 classes, you sign up, walking through what happens. So you're going to the gym repetitively, you're being consistent. What starts to change for you? Like, do you see a big difference in comparison to your body at your lowest to your body now? How much can you attribute that to your workouts at OTF? How much of it is to your nutrition? Like, what did you change? Because there's a significant difference in the tone of your body, how your muscle development between, you know, where you are now and where you were then. What was that big change for you?
So I signed up for the 8 times a month, and when our studio did the transformation challenge in June,
okay,
I decided to sign up for it, and I decided to really start meal prepping because, ironically enough, when I moved out on my own, I didn't really know how to cook for myself, which is
no shame in
funny. So the one thing that I knew how to cook was Parmesan crusted chicken. So still to this day, that's what I cook every single week. 2 pounds of it, and I divide it up. And so I started making that and cooking sides every day. And then I signed up for the transformation challenge, which requires you to go 3 times a week, at least 6 out of the 8 weeks. And for our regional transformation challenge, it required an in-body scan at the beginning and an in-body scan at the end. And I wanted to commit myself to make my body look better, and I was 100% ready for it. So I hadn't noticed really any changes. I knew that I was starting to run a little bit better on the treadmill, and I was kind of a power walker, jogger. I was getting a little bit faster, I was picking up weights a little bit better, but I didn't really start noticing a difference until I did the transformation challenge. And in those 8 weeks, I started going 4 or 5 times, and I ended up having to upgrade my membership to the unlimited because I was going so much. And in those 8 weeks, I got biceps, my legs got stronger. My in-body scan showed my legs like ended up weighing heavier because of muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat. And my back like slimmed down tremendously. I actually took a picture of like a before and after, and my self-esteem was like through the roof because I was like, look at my body before and after, and I posted it on Instagram because I was like, I can't believe like I finally have biceps. Even when I was working out at the gym, I did not have biceps. I had no upper body strength, and I made a joke because I've always had tree trunks for legs. I've always had thick thighs because they save lives, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And I've always had big legs, but I've never had upper body strength, and I finally had biceps after those 8 weeks. and those coaches cheering you on, like, pick up that 20, pick up that 25, and I was picking up 20s, picking up 25s, like I was picking up 30s even, and I was working with it, and after those 8 weeks, I was like, this is 100% worth it, and even still to this day, like I was saying, because of work and transitioning to my new position, I haven't been going 4 and 5 times, I've been going like 3, but even now, it's been amazing to like have biceps and be like, and you have like little baby abs that I like brag about. I'm like, I have 2 abs. I'll take my 2 abs over 6 any day. Like, it's fine.
So you think that like you did see a significant difference, a huge improvement, and do you think that you would work out as hard on your own than you would in the studio when you started?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I don't like a one-on-one training. Like when I was at 24 Hour Fitness and I had a trainer that was working with me, I don't like that main focus on me. Kind of stresses me out a little too much.
Yeah.
Because I know my potential and I know how hard I can push myself. And I know in Orangetheory, it's like a thriving, healthy environment. I know we all feel like we're dying, it's not really healthy, but it is a healthy environment and we're all there pushing each other. Even if you don't know somebody across the studio, when you cross each other, you high-five each other because you see both of you guys struggling. Like,
I think we're very lucky because I've been to other gyms and I will say, or other studios, like Orangetheory studios specifically. I'm not dogging on anybody, but we're very lucky. Like, we have really great trainers at our location, and you do get it. You do see a difference. Like, because Journey's not afraid to be like, hey, give me that weight here, take another one, you know, or hey, stop doing that, or correcting my form, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I can definitely agree with you there. If there is one thing about this journey that you've learned that you would like to tell either, hey, to me, because I'm still very much at the beginning of my journey, or to someone who's starting, what would that one piece of information be? Like, what is something you wish you knew when you started?
I don't know if it's what I wish I knew in the beginning, but I would say, like, don't give up, because a weight loss journey is a never-ending journey, especially for somebody who's been big their entire life. It's even when you get skinny or when you reach your goal, it's a never-ending journey. It's a new goal. You know how easy it is for you to gain weight, and you know how hard it is to lose it. So, like me in high school, I gained 60 pounds in 2 months. I know how easy it is for me to gain weight. I know how easy it is for me to emotionally eat and get off track and lose everything that I have worked so hard for over the last almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in May. I know how easy it is. And I know how hard it is to get to where I got to today. And I know how hard the whole journey is. And throughout a weight loss journey, you hit plateaus. You will hit plateau after plateau after plateau. Like when I was losing weight, I hit a plateau at 15 pounds. And I was like, my goal is 100. How many plateaus am I gonna hit? I hit one at 15, I hit one at 30, I hit one at 70. And then I hit one at 99. I sat at 99 for 2 months. And I was like, I'm never gonna get to 100. Like, I was so convinced I was not gonna get 100. And then one day, I stepped on the scale and I was at 101. And I was like, bless the gods. Like, it's so frustrating. And I still have friends now that are like, I don't know how you lost all that weight. Like, I lost 5 pounds and I can't lose 5 more. But like, you have to push. Like, it's your metabolism. It just goes up and down. It's like a roller coaster. You just have to push and push and push. And you can't work out off of a bad diet. Like, you have to have the diet and the working out. Like, it works together. It's like a cohesive unit. You have to push.
I think it's like, what is it? John from Obese to Beast. Have you ever watched his videos?
Mm-hmm.
So good, so good, so good. Anyway, he's always saying that fitness happens in the gym and weight loss happens in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And like, it's so true, because I've noticed, like, if I had a week where I didn't eat as clean as I wanted to, but I still went 5 times, like, you'll notice that on the scale. And I feel like I plateau at whenever I'm gonna hit like a new 10s mark. So if I'm going from like 30s to 20s, or 33, 34, 33, 34, 32, 33, and like it'll kind of bounce back, and then finally it'll just like tip over one day, and I'm like, but it takes me a minute to like get past those, so I can definitely vibe with it. So very cool.
Pay attention to how you feel too.
Pay attention to how you feel.
Not just numbers.
Not just numbers.
Numbers are
Caca.
mean. Yeah, caca. That's a good word to say on a video.
Caca.
Caca.
Non-scale victories all day.
It's always how you feel.
It really does. It really does make a difference. So really quick, I am going to show a picture of what Heather looks like now. Bing. So funny. So your lowest weight was 127, you said?
Yeah.
And you're sitting at about
138, 140.
Okay. And a lot of that is muscle development
Yeah.
too, right? Because you, I mean, homegirl, like her form, it makes me mad. But I also use it as motivation because she tears up the weight floor especially. So Heather, thank you so much for letting me turn your apartment into a mini studio with all my stuff. And for talking to me and letting me put all your business out on the intranets. Guys, I'm going to also post Heather's Instagram right here so that you can follow her, because whether she knows it or not, she's going to start converting that bad boy into a fitness blog soon.
A real one, not a fake one this time.
Oh yeah, so that's funny. Somebody stole all her before and after pictures and made a fake Instagram.
Which, if you're watching this, your mom's a hoe.
But you know what? I think that's like awful. It's a horrible thing that they did, but I think it's also like a really weird type of compliment. Like,
they just want to be me.
They want to be you. So anyway, I post new videos on Mondays and Thursdays. If you like the content that I'm putting out there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on your way out. If you like this kind of video, because I know this is different, tell me about what you think in the description or in the comment section below. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much.